In February of 2020, I was hired by Jerry Martin and his wife Abigail Rosenthal Martin to help promote Jerry's book, God and Autobiography as Told to a Philosopher, through social media. So naturally, the first thing I did was read it. What attracted me to the idea of turning this project into a podcast in the first place was the way the book read when I first read it. It read like dialogue, because that's exactly what it was. God and Jerry had these conversations, and they'd been written down by Jerry. In the physical book, God's words are in bold-faced type, and Jerry's are in italics. The narrator of the book is Jerry himself, guiding the reader through the story as it happened to him. After considering several different ideas, Jerry, Abigail, their wonderful executive assistant Laura Buck, and I decided an audio adaptation of the book would work well, and that a platform like a podcast might be the best way to offer it out to the world. What followed was 44 individual episodes that comprise the audio adaptation of God and Autobiography as Told to a Philosopher. Jerry Martin, who heard the voice, speaks the voice of God. Abigail Rosenthal speaks her own voice, Sarah Lynn Dewey speaks the female voice of God, and I speak the voice of Jerry Martin. God and Autobiography as Told to a Philosopher is a first-person account of Jerry Martin's unexpected conversations with God, and it begins with Jerry giving a bit of a backstory. Here's a clip from Episode 1, I Pray to a God I Don't Believe in.
It is said you don't have to believe in God in order to pray. That is what happened to me. I had been divorced for many years. I always thought I would be happier married, but as the decades rolled on without Miss Wright showing up, I began to think she never would. Then one day the phone rang. It was Abigail Rosenthal. She was a professor at Brooklyn College, a school with an outstanding liberal arts curriculum. The new college president had decided to replace core courses that opened students to the whole world of learning with telescope from wide vista to keyhole view, a focus on the borough of Brooklyn. The one thing the students knew already, in fact, knew better than their professors. Rosenthal and a colleague in the history department were fighting the change. They had succeeded in rallying most of the faculty, but the administration was driving a steamroller. She called the higher education organization I ran in Washington, D.C. Could we help? Yes, that is what we do, I said. Our only hope was to take the issue to the public, and we did. The battle raged in the press through the spring and into the summer. Abigail and I talked almost daily, strategizing and getting the story out. None of the talk was personal, and we never met. Yet I found myself thinking, this is a very remarkable woman. In fact, I fell in love with her over the phone. Oh, and we won the fight. I was not just in love, I was completely overwhelmed.
Jerry had literally answered the call to love when he picked up the phone for Abigail that first day. He didn't know it then, but he figured it out soon enough. And to his delight, so did Abigail.
I would have been in sad shape had Abigail not had similar feelings, but she too responded to what she called the summons of love.
Dinner last night was disturbingly interesting.
That was, according to Abigail, her diary entry the day after a lovely New York dinner we had following our victorious campaign against the administration of Brooklyn College. Thinking to maintain her feminine elusiveness, she nevertheless warned in a stream of modals,
If there may be, or might be, or possibly could be something personal at some point, perhaps, between us, we should make sure it doesn't interfere with our efforts for Brooklyn College.
My lips said, of course, the college comes first. But my heart said, she loves me.
Jerry and Abigail had both been open to and responded to the summons of love, as Abigail so beautifully put it, and that might have been it. But Jerry did something further, something that felt as natural as anything had ever felt. He had been changed by this love, and he was grateful. Here's more from episode 1.